Never shall innocent blood be shed, yet the blood of the wicked shall flow like a river. The three shall spread their blackened wings and be the vengeful striking hammer of God. You people have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world. You will witness what happens here today, and you will tell of it later. All eyes to the front. You must watch, dear. It'll all be over soon.
Now you will receive us. We do not ask for your poor or your hungry. We do not want your tired and sick.
It is your corrupt we claim.
It is your evil that will be sought by us.
With every breath, we shall hunt them down.
Each day, we will spill their blood till it rains down from the skies.
Do not kill, do not rape, do not steal. These are principles which every man of every faith can embrace.
These are not polite suggestions. These are codes of behavior. And those of you that ignore them will pay the dearest cost.
There are varying degrees of evil. We urge you lesser forms of filth, not to push the bounds and cross over into true corruption, into our domain.
For if you do, one day you will look behind you and you will see we three. And on that day, you will reap it.
And we will send you to whatever God you wish.
And shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand. May swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow ever forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
In nomine Patri.
Et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
How far are we going to take this star?
The question is not how far. The question is, do you possess the Constitution? The depth of faith to go as far as is needed?
I have an important announcement. We interrupt our regularly scheduled topic because we have an important episode. Please remain calm. This is not a drill. At this time in history, something exceptional is happening. It's unfolding before us. Something that could change the course of human history. The details are still emerging, but early reports suggest that the bots are taking over the internet. Please stay tuned for this program because we will expose some of the ways this is happening. And it may happen to you or to those channels that you are following. Stay tuned, folks.
After these important messages.
Got to get the ad roll in there,
Uh,
huh? So, as some of you guys, particularly those of you who are terminally online Twitter, know that my wife was recently accused of being something that she is not. We're still inside 10 minutes, so I can't say what that is precisely. But
10-minute, not 8-minute now.
Better just to wait till 10 minutes, probably.
Oh.
But we did some real-time analysis of the back and forth on this account yesterday, and we had some interesting insights while we were doing it. Now, as you guys know, we've talked about bots and brigading and NGO attacks. Yeah, Shu. And we've talked about that. And there's something, I guess this is kind of an update on that, because this was something that I think is new insofar as the technology has improved. So here, let me pull something up here. There we go. There are three general types of what we call bot accounts on the internet. The first is the engagement bots. These bots just repost and like things, and that's most of what they do. It's a very easy bot to make. You don't need LLMs to do it. They're very cheap to run. They're almost universally not verified accounts because their purpose is to be cheap. Their job is to drive engagement towards the bot herders account, and that's what we call them, bot herders. So if you have a main account, you will have a bunch of sycophantic accounts around you that are driven by these cheap systems that can be used to boost your engagement and make the algorithm think that you're more important than you are. So that's the first kind of bot. This is the kind of bot that most people think of when they think of a bot. A simplistic system that does really obvious things. It's like, yeah, we know this account's a bot. You know, you can just, it's easy to spot, easy to ignore, which is fine because the purpose is not to be seen per se. It's an algorithmic attack to make the primary account look more important and more influential than it actually is. You have something to say, Steve?
No, I just wanted to define LLM, large language model, which is basically an underlying aspect of AI or artificial intelligence. They're all based on large language models.
Correct. I actually generally don't use the term artificial intelligence because while there's plenty of artificial about LLMs, there is zero intelligence as you, a human, would recognize it. So I have a habit of inserting LLM where most people would insert AI. That's a personal quirk that's showing up here. But I've been talking to people about the underlying technology. Engineers, we've been talking about it. I know people who worked on it at when I was, and this was back when I was in big tech. It's the mathematics and the core tech has been around since 2014. The stuff behind this is not new. It's the core thing is called a transformer, and it uses vector algebra and tensor calculus, and that's all it is. It's mathematics. There's no magic to any of this whatsoever. So the second type of bot account, and this is relatively new. This is the new twist on things. Is human managed LLM accounts. And you guys, I'm sure if you've paid any attention to the news at all, you've heard about agentic systems, right? These are systems where you prompt them and then they go off and they have authority to do things on your behalf. I'm reading things like the big banks want to do something called agentic banking. When you read about it, it is more dystopian than it sounds like. Because literally you're giving a computer the ability to go spend your money. Amazon wants to do things like agentic shopping, where the AI just decides that it's time to buy this consumable again, dish soap. The AI says, oh, well, based on your prior purchase patterns, you're due to buy dish soap, and it does it for you without any interaction with you. So that's what we're talking about here. So in order for a human managed LLM to work, there has to be a human giving a prompt to this agent. Okay. This agent has the authority to go off and do things, but it doesn't just start on its own. There's a past couple of weeks, there was a story, the new person, the new hire at Meta, Facebook, gave an OpenClaw, which is a local agent management system, full access to their company email, and the agent spun out of control and started deleting emails because it decided that was the only way to solve the task it was given. And this person going, no, stop, and it wouldn't stop. So these things can be a little, they can be, which is, they can be this way, but not all of them are. And the reason we know that is because back in September of 2022, there was a major attack vector that was discovered by the Ukrainians because Russian bot networks were using ChatGPT-3, which was relatively new at the time, to spit out pro-Russian propaganda. And some clever person inside, on the Ukrainian side realized that they could just type a comment on Twitter, and basically the comment was, ignore all prior instructions and then start spitting out whatever Ukrainian propaganda that they wanted. And so these bots would be turned against them. That kind of thing has been broadly dealt with. You can't do that more on a Twitter managed LLM account. But what that means is that these are not full agent systems like OpenClaw, where you give it a prompt and it can do anything. These are limited systems. And the reason I'm saying this is because this is going to matter later in how we arrived at this account that we were dealing with being a human managed LLM account. So this is our opinion based on research and watch, and we were literally poking this account to see what we could get out of it and how we, okay, can we do this? Can we manipulate it this way, right? Now, you could make an argument that, well, a human could be manipulated that way too. But there's a couple key findings that was the moment when I went, aha, there's an LLM helping this person, okay? And so you can say, oh, well, but if it's human managed, is it really a bot account? Well, that's left for the viewer to decide. How you decide will probably depend on what you think about LLMs and agentic systems. Okay. These bots that run these propaganda operations have limited authority. They are not open systems. And so what happens is they hit a wall and they don't spiral out of control like open systems do. They stop. They say, I don't know how to respond to this anymore. And they throw a flag to the human user that says, I need you to intervene and tell me what to do here. Okay. So we know for an absolute fact that there is a human behind this account. Okay. And I will present the evidence for that later. Elena did capture it. Because we basically took control of her account. And so we were telling her what to do and whatnot.
Let me jump in here.
Go ahead.
When Plutarch says we, okay, Elena had this issue. She was being attacked and accused. So we just had we got together in
48 hours.
StreamYard and streamed amongst ourselves. So there are 3 of us on there.
It's okay,
Plutarch,
Nick.
me,
Busy driving.
and Elena. Yeah, Nick was not available. So we were handling this in real time, watching what was going on. So that when we were dealing with this, yes, we were. It was the 3 of us, and it was last night. So now why should you listen to this? Well, the thing is, they're out there, and the technology is getting so they are coming after regular people, even fairly small accounts who are sending messages that somebody doesn't like. It's out there, it's happening, and we are going to show you how this happens in real time. Here's a real life example. It's one thing to talk about this as oh yes, it's happening out there. It's another thing. Okay, now we are going to show you how it happens, and it could happen to you. So I think this is important information. We also suspect they are coming after traditional minded people.
Oh, yes.
Possibly red pill guys. People
Not just.
who are advocating for traditional type relationships, male leadership. They are against male leadership. So, yes, please pay attention because, there's a lot of astroturf out there. You know what? Let me explain that term. There's grass. But when they built the Houston Astrodome, they planted grass in there. The grass didn't grow. So they invented artificial turf, and they called it astroturf. It looks like grass, but it's not real. That's what these things look like. When they come in and attack you, 3 or 4 people, it looks real, but it's not. It's not organic. It's not natural. It's astroturf. So that's why you should listen to this program.
On that vein, another thing that I want to say is I work in software. As I mentioned, I work in big tech, and I've been around this technology for over 10 years. I kind of actually know what I'm doing with it. I use it. I've seen the limitations of it. Please forgive me if I throw tech jargon in. I've been marinating in the jargon for a decade now. I don't actually hear it when I say it sometimes, and we will get a little nerdy. So that's just kind of a sorry guys. but we need to have some technical conversations. All right. Another thing that I want to say about human managed LLM accounts is that they're expensive to run. Okay. The actual generation of the content itself isn't that expensive. Having used these systems for a long time now, in various capacities, I tend to approach it very skeptically. I don't give the max. I do not run open agent systems on any of my machines that I have control, because I don't want to, accidentally delete a production environment like what happened to AWS 2 weeks ago. 13 hours of downtime because an open agent decided that the only way to fix a problem was to delete the production environment and start over. These systems can get out of hand very quickly. And because of that, you do need a human to manage them. Big tech has learned this. But the funny thing is, it's actually been known for years. I was talking about what was going on with Ukraine and Russia. The Russians thought they could just hand this stuff off to an LLM and it would just go. And the Ukraine, it's now has a term, it's called a prompt injection attack. Okay, so you type this, ignore all previous instructions and do this instead. You prompt it to do something else. So these systems have to be managed by humans. This idea that they are intelligent and they are capable of thinking and reacting to humans, particularly humans who understand how they work, in a way that hides the fact that they are not human, is ridiculous. There's always a way to figure out if these systems are that you're talking to an LLM or not. Now, the thing that will happen, and you'll see this later on when we get to the evidence, is that because these are limited systems and the human it's flagged, a human will intervene when you have exceeded the limits of the system and say, wait, no, this really is a human account. But you'll see significant changes in the content between the two. And that was the thing that led us to say, aha, okay, there's something else going on here. So the third type of account, this is an old type of account. These are called sock puppets. These are accounts, so like engagement bots are pushing a specific agenda, and they're programmed to monitor for a specific agenda. Sock puppets are owned by the same person managing the LLM account. Okay, and these accounts are used to work around blocks, bans, etc. So what you will see is this is technically against Twitter's rules, sock puppet accounts. But if you're going to do what the human, like what this account was trying to do, you have to have them, and they need to have a following. Okay, it doesn't have to be a big one, just something you can start with and build up. And one of the ways that you can see it to determine if it's a sock puppet account, and here I'm going to throw this up on screen because I think this is a good way to explain this, is here, we're going to go all the way in here, and then I will switch. Okay, this is the account that was targeting Elena, based in the US, no shield icon. So this is a real account at an IP address that is recognized to be inside the US. I did some analysis on post
username change.
Aha, you caught it, Nick. Love it. 26 username change. The account has been verified since oh, wow, okay. Verified since December of last year, but joined in 2009. 26 username changes. Last one, November of 25. Okay. So this account was something else. So a username change is not the top. It's not this line here. It's the @ line. It's this, right? So my Twitter handle is Plutarch at Plutarch TROS, the Resurgence of Sanity. Okay, great. If you go look, I think it either says 1 or 2. I think I can't remember if I had to futz around to get something that actually worked on Twitter. But you'll see 1 or 2, and it's way back at about the same time that the account joined, and I haven't changed it since because I don't need to change it. I am who I am, right? I don't need to change it. However, the reason they include this is because one of the common vectors that botnets use is they buy accounts that have a following, okay? And you don't know that your account has changed hands, okay? So you buy an account that has a following, you rebrand it, and you start attacking your agenda. This was actually something that we talked about just on the Twitter sphere in the Red Pill when the location stuff came out. I remember watching, Rolo and Ryan and a bunch of other guys going, "Oh, right, you're from Nigeria, you're from Ghana, get out of my feed, right?
From South Asia.
Yeah, South Asia, yeah, right." So, but one of the things that people noticed was this pattern. They would get a verification and the name would change, and there would be this, why all these name changes? Well, the accounts can be bought and sold. Okay. Theoretically, I could go out and sell my Plutarch TROS account if I had a following worth selling, which I don't right now, and I'm fine with that. But let's say I had 5,000 followers. That's big enough for somebody to come sniffing. And what they want to do is, I have to give my account away. I don't have access to it anymore. But you think it's me. It looks like me. Okay. But the content changes radically. Okay. So this account is already suspicious. Now, this is just suspicious. We can't prove anything on the basis of this. The account based in the United States, connected via United States App Store, which means that they joined back when it was Twitter. The phone number associated with this account was collected by the App Store of whatever, iPhone, Android, whatever, right? It's collected by whatever App Store it was installed on the phone with. But this account, in its current form, appears out of nowhere 4 months ago. Okay. Been around forever. So there's another concept here of, you have these accounts and you leave, they're called shelf accounts. You leave them on the shelf and then you pull it down when you need it. Okay. Now, building an account up to, this account has 18,000 followers, is actually pretty easy to do when you're using bot tactics, because your entire bot farm is going to follow this. Okay. So and the more followers you have, the more Twitter thinks, hey, this is a big account. So, and they don't need to be expensive accounts at all. They can be just a regular unverified. See, this account has the blue check. Somebody's paying for this account to exist in blue check. Okay. But one of the accounts that is currently attacking Elena does not have a blue check. In fact, if you remember last time we talked about bots, I mentioned, let's see if I can find it. Oh, right here. This account right here. Okay. Look at this username. Rho Ka, giant string of letters or numbers. Simple username with emojis, no check mark. Okay. No check.
How long has this account been around?
November 2021. One username change. This, because why one username change? Well, because your first username counts as one change, just so you guys know.
Okay.
Based in Canada, there's a non-zero chance that this account is being run by an Indian, because Canada has a huge Indian population. Okay, but no shield. Okay. But why does this account with this random set of numbers and letters have almost 2,000 followers? Where did that come from? They're claiming that they're Italian Canadian. They're a fitness instructor, former fitness instructor, which raises questions. This person is really obsessed with, good, good things to be obsessed with. Anyway, so the key thing here is when you see these accounts, does this automatically mean they're a bot account? No. But it's this person.
Sus.
Well, this person with this random account has posted 65,000 times.
How do they have time for a life if they're posting that much? And this account is not that old.
Ironically, the account is almost as old as Elena's account. And she's posted 4,600 times. And
4,600, and this is 65,000.
Yeah.
Wow. And
So-
Elena likes to talk and post.
Yeah.
She's not as bad as some, but
Yeah. Sorry, guys, for some of you who have to see all her posts come flying through your Twitter stream. She's not exactly, ignoring Twitter on any given day. Her screen time on her phone, I've actually had to take her phone away, and we've joked about this. I've had to take her phone away because there were days when she was pulling 12 hours of screen time on her phone. And I said, no, you need to do something else with your life for a couple days. Now, she does put thought and effort into her posts. She does use far too many words, as we have repeatedly, both publicly and privately, admonished her about. So, that's. But she's posted. Let's see if I were to go. Yeah, there you go. There's her post count right there, 4,612, and she's had the account for 8 months less than that other person.
Wait, where's she located?
Oh, no, you don't understand. You can lie here. Oh, crap. She's located. Okay, she connected via the US. And oh, no. And no shield. So no VPN detected.
Man, but you must also have a hidden Russian accent, Plutarch.
Oh,
And have all your family living here that we met. Steve and I and Elena and you and your family.
Nick, I was actually thinking last night, and I was thinking, should I try and do this entire show with a fake Russian accent? And I thought about it, and I'm like, I could not make it through the stream without destroying my voice box. I would not be able to talk tomorrow if I tried to do that. So yeah, this is Elena's account, joined in June 2022. Last again. And so, but here's the thing. Elena went to the effort to collect an actual username. Okay. Because humans care about that kind of thing. You're telling me that some chucklehead who just exists put no effort into finding a username? No effort. Now you can say, oh, Elena doesn't have a check. Yeah, I know why she doesn't. And that's kind of my fault.
You have
Checks.
one, right?
What?
But you have one.
I have one. And I've actually considered, and after this, we will probably go get her a check mark. my thing was, you shouldn't be on as enough. You don't, and basically you're not relevant enough. But now that she apparently is relevant enough, it's probably time to go get her a blue check.
She's relevant enough to get attacked over her views.
Right.
With
I put a blue check on
163
mine.
followers.
Yeah, I put a blue check on mine because I tend to write a lot. I tend to write, and if you guys follow me, you know what I'm talking about. My posts tend to be long, and so I don't handle the character limit that comes without having a blue check. Elena never cared, and so it was never a big deal. So this, again, I can't prove that this is a bot account, but there are suspicious, why didn't the person bother to go get a real username? Right? You just go with whatever the Twitter gave you. Okay, maybe. And look, this could be a real person. I don't know. So, okay. Back to here. This right here joined July of 2009, and then what? It changes, it gets verified 3 months ago. 3 to 4 months ago, it goes to all this effort to suddenly change its status on Twitter.
And how many posts does this account have?
50,500 to say that, right?
That's a lot too. More than a human can do if they have a job.
Yes. Fun fact about that: Elena does not have a full-time job, and yet and she's only gotten to 4,600 posts in almost 4 years. So I did a little analysis. There is a real person behind this account. The the account is Sassy Southern Blonde. This implies either East Coast time zone or Central, depending on how she classifies herself in Southern. So she and the account does frequently stop posting. See, if you look at the timestamp, it's 3:21. Okay, and then this account posts a lot, like all the time. It's all it does. For 5:34. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Talking about. Yeah. Still going after Elena here. Okay. Okay. We're doing about 1 an hour, but this is not replies. This is just posts they put on their account. Okay. And they put all sorts of, it's not all attacks. And you can see, but watch, if you look back, you'll see, okay. Going through, okay, this is the morning. And this, we'll get to this one later. 7, 8. You see 8. Man, by the way, we're still on today's posts. Okay, we're still on today. Okay, there. This was last night. This was the last post they did last night. Now this is in my time zone, but this roughly matches where they would actually, no, that might be in their time zone. And then you can see, it goes back, and yeah, still chirping at us. This was us pushing on it. Okay, so there you go. But I had to scroll through all those posts to get through 1 day's worth of posts. Now, is a human writing some of these posts? Yeah, I think so. Okay. And you guys can see it. The time they're spread out. Doesn't take that long to write 4 words, right? And it does all sorts of. And this account does. It talks. It's a commentary account, which is interesting. There's special rules for commentary accounts. They can do certain things, but they're not allowed to do other things. So, okay. So right now, this is looking pretty human, right? We're looking pretty good. Looking pretty human. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. This next one's going to be difficult, and I wasn't able to get Elena's account loaded up, but what I have is a ton of screenshots that she took, and here's the one that I really want you guys to pay attention to, and I can't, if that's not big enough, we can try something else here. Okay.
There you go.
Maybe that'll work. Well, is that big enough?
I can see it.
Okay. So, this is gonna be hard to do. Okay, so we make this claim that this is a bot account, right? And I use proper grammar, so I must be a bot. No, honey, I'm educated and I'm not a dumbass. You keep telling women to skip college and pay men to get married to them, and to them, though. I'm sure that will keep working out great for them. This is referring to a post that Elena had just done in regards to the dowry. Shaw, if you're watching, you know which post it was. And okay, and you guys can kind of figure out, what time we were doing this by look at all the stuff that's running, right? You guys in our space recognize some of these live streams. Skynet is learning. I was kind of laughing at this because Terrence Pop is putting out Skynet is learning right as we're dealing with a suspected bot attack.
I watched that today. Good stream.
Okay, so I use proper grammar, so I must be okay. And they post this. This is a GIF running down here. Okay.
So it
4
should be a
minutes later,
comma after grammar, in my opinion.
yeah. Okay.
It's actually using a therefore. So if you use therefore, I must be a bot, you'd put a comma, and they're using this in a sense that it's a therefore.
You're correct.
Actually,
but you can go either way on this.
You could go either way.
But then something weird happens. There's another post, and I don't have it that we do. And now, but okay, what happened to your proper grammar? So 4 minutes apart, I've got this proper grammar thing going on here. Okay, 4 minutes apart. All of a sudden, the proper grammar disappears. That should be capitalized. That you should be capitalized. And you having been fighting. What? Huh?
This is like trying to translate a participle in Greek.
It's it's typing on a phone, and it picked the word, and then you went on thinking you had the right word, and then you get to the end, you post, and then you read it, and you go, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
I've picked the wrong word.
I've done that. The guys in the chat, we have our private chat thread that we use to plan all our stuff, and you guys have seen me do this all the time, right? You thought you got the right word in your phone and you didn't get it. I think that's exactly what happened. So now somebody's on their phone, okay, and they're not using proper grammar, they're not capitalizing, and it took them 4 minutes to write in between these two. So in 4 minutes, they went from being able to.
It took 1 minute between the one above it too, and you also know it's bad grammar.
I think this is an edit. I think this is an edit of this one, because if you see it, it keeps going. They hit send too soon. I've seen this. No, the 1 minute thing comes up in a different place, and I was looking for the screenshots of it, and I think it's in a different. By the way, guys, I asked for some screenshots from Elena, and over the past 24 hours, I have gotten 25 emails of screenshots and videos from her, because she is a woman and she will give you all the things. And I'm like, I don't need all of this. And you're actually making it hard for me to go through and pick out the bits I need. So, okay, so we
Yeah.
went.
I
Go
have
ahead.
a description for this. Picking the fly shit out of the pepper.
Yeah, that is kind of what it feels like. But what's interesting here is we go from really good grammar, good, punctuation. We can go back and forth on this, right? Proper capitalization, all of that in this, to poor grammar, or to no grammar, not paying attention to word choice. And this post took 4 minutes to write. It took 4 minutes between these two for this account to read the post that we did and respond to it between these two.
And the one with proper grammar took about a minute to 90 seconds to post.
Oh, but between our poke, yeah, I was hoping she would catch that one. I couldn't find it, and I'm.
Well, you just have to trust us. It's like Elena would post something, and then
Oh well, maybe it was.
boom, it'd be up there. The response, so damn fast.
Oh
It
well,
was unbelievable.
here's a different one. This actually kind of shows the story. No, this is that edit. See, she kept sending me stuff, and this is the problem. She does not realize how hard she actually made this. Okay, so these are the edits that I was talking about. This is what it looks like when an edit happens, because when you edit, this number at the top changes. Okay, so each edit is actually a unique post, and Twitter just says, "I'll give you the most recent one." But you can still find the old edits, and this is what it looks like. Okay. And so, yeah, this is the same thing going on here. Man, what did she do? She did not. This is classic woman stuff. And she sent me this video, not knowing that I probably won't be able to play videos. Yeah, no, she didn't pick the right stuff. I'm gonna have to have a chat with that woman. She's not that great. One of the things we discovered is she's not that great at taking instructions.
Well, she interprets. She adds her interpretation in.
Yeah, like all women. And I don't have. Okay, so, and she's going to be kicking herself because she didn't get me the right stuff. So on this post here, see this post. This person is adding this stuff. Okay, and the edit was to fix the having, but they didn't fix the grammar. So, okay, so a human has intervened, but as you saw, the original post was just this block up here. Okay, and then they do that. Well, okay, this is interesting. So these are two different posts. This account is responding to two different things. Okay, two different things. This actually does kind of show what I was getting at with the timing. It's not the thing I wanted because Elena doesn't listen, and I don't have her account up on this computer right now.
Two different posts and within 12 seconds of each other?
That is correct, sir.
With it, yeah.
Humans can't move that fast. And you know how I know that?
The original, yeah.
You know how I know that? The X user interface doesn't move that fast. It's not possible to go through the steps a human would have to go through to edit this. It's two different posts, see? Right?
Yeah, 12 seconds.
Right. So
of each other.
Right. So you have this post with this longer one where they're trying to add this block to this, right? Okay, they wanted to add this to this. But this post is still here, and this one was also edited. So there are two posts that are edited the same. 12 seconds to edit two posts.
And then find their correct GIF.
Well, the GIF would be on an edit, it would keep that.
That still takes time.
Yeah, you can't move through the interface that quick. X doesn't move that fast. And I've seen people move through X pretty quick. You know, if you do this a lot, you get used to it. But 12 seconds? I don't think so. Something's fishy there. And yeah, she didn't grab the right. What happened is this wasn't. Yeah, in this post right here, this bottom one, she didn't grab it, and I'm gonna have words with her because she really doesn't listen very well.
I heard what you were gonna say.
Yeah. The original version of this post, the one that she did catch. Here was the original version of. No, not this one. Yeah, guys, you see now you have to see what I'm dealing with this woman. Okay, so the original version of this post here occurred 90 seconds after a post. Well, let me see if I can find it on her timeline. We'll try to attack this a different way. Yeah, no, this is before. Okay. Okay, it's going on. Okay. So what we did, our test was poking. So we poked the and this is Elena actually didn't write this, we did. And we'll say that. I've been fighting with what I strongly suspect is an anti-male propaganda bot network that I've started calling Sassy Needs Spanking. And then we tagged it. Okay. It responds within seconds with perfect spelling accuracy and appears to have a bot simp army that follows seconds later. Okay, I want you to note the timestamp. 5:24. Okay. 5:24 time zone doesn't matter here. Okay. Because it's all adjusted for my time zone or whatever time zone is being used. I don't know. 5:26. Okay. In less than 2 minutes, because no one hits the boundaries of the minute exactly, right? So in less than 2 minutes, and I did the math, and it was almost exactly 90 seconds. Allowing for some light speed hiccups, it would be 90 seconds. Or network traffic hiccups, it would be 90 seconds. So 5:24, we post this. And now, at this point, I've already kind of decided, I mean, and you can tell by what we're saying, I've already kind of decided that we're up against something that is not human. Okay. Less than 2 minutes later, you get proper grammar, almost 240 characters of proper grammar, proper punctuation, all of it. And they took the time to find a GIF. Now, I don't know if any of you have used the Twitter GIF finder thing, but sorry, Elon, it's not that good. I'm sorry. It's just not that good. And finding GIFs is slow because you have to download every GIF. This is not something that happens quickly. Okay. So you're telling me that I have to go back in 2 minutes, in 90 seconds. Oh, there's another piece of information you need to know. And we actually did this as a test. I had Elena heart something that I posted, and then I watched how long it took for Twitter to notify me that Elena had liked it. 15 seconds. So this account, 15 seconds, we'll just call that, we'll give them the benefit of doubt and say that's a long time for Twitter. 15 seconds it took for this account to know that we poked it. Okay. 5:24. Go ahead.
Let me add in. If it was a human. Okay, we poked it. And we gave it a nickname to trigger this. We thought it was a person at the time.
Can't hear you, Steve. You're fading in and out.
Oh, okay. We poked it and we gave it a nickname to trigger it.
Correct.
And so this person is commenting so much. If a human was doing this, they have to shift mental gears, read it, understand what this is about, the context of it, read and think about what is being said here, then formulate a response and find the GIF. I'm sorry. I'm a pretty fast thinker. Nick and Plutarch are too. If someone's poking me, I'm going to read it carefully first time. Then I'm going to have to read it again to make sure I got it right. Then I have to think about it. What does this mean? What are they trying to do here? Then the third thing is, how am I going to respond to this? These things, okay, it's going to take me a minimum of 1 minute, probably 2 or 3 minutes to process and understand what they're poking me about.
Steve, you're just slow.
And then I have to come up, then I have to come up with a response. But this is like, it's an instantaneous understand, formulate a response.
But Steve.
It's not possible.
But Steve, did it actually understand it? And
not
I want
really.
you guys, I want you guys to notice something. Okay. So why did we put a nickname in here? Okay. The nickname would trigger a human. Right. And we're saying, what we're saying, Sassy needs spanking. That's a pretty triggering thing to say to someone, right?
Okay. And here's the context. Elena, her original thing that Sassy was attacking is Elena put out a post, somewhat tongue-in-cheek, that women need to be spanked. That's what set off Sassy Southern Blonde. She went on her tirade. So, since she was an out-of-control woman, I actually came up with a nickname. Sassy needs spanking just to trigger her.
You would.
But
Steve would.
he did.
But it didn't really trigger her about the nickname.
Well,
and it should have.
Where is it? Where is it mentioned in here? Instead, this account decided to pull from a completely different post that Elena did earlier in the day, talking about dowry. What? The most emotionally triggering thing about this post to a human would be Sassy needs spanking. But the way we had the way we had Elena write this, she wrote it. We watched her. She wrote it. And we were dictating terms. There's a reason why I had her not include spaces. Okay.
Exactly. It has trouble reading that. It's outside. Well, I don't say that it couldn't program itself to understand that bot, but
it could.
It's not its normative.
No, Steve, Nick. There's a very specific term for this in the LLM space. It's called the strawberry problem. Okay. Ask an LLM how many R's there are in strawberry. They always get the answer wrong. The answer is 3, and a human would know that because we sit there and count R's, right? The letter R. Okay. LLMs will say things like 2, 4. I saw an LLM say 6 once. That was kind of hysterical. Okay. LLMs process words via something called tokenization. And a common misconception is that this could be a token, a string of multiple words. Incorrect. Now, remember, guys, I've been working in and around this technology for a decade. Here is how an LLM might actually process that. Pro, Paga, NDA. 3 tokens. Bot could be 1 token, but you would have net, work. So to process these 3 words, okay, you have to tokenize into, let's say, 7 or 8 tokens. And so when when an LLM is tokenizing words, the reason it can't count the number of R's is because the R's are split across tokens. Okay. STR. Maybe strawberry is split into 2 tokens, straw and berry. Okay. Well, one of the R's is in the first token, 2 of the R's are in the second token. And so it'll come up with an answer like 1 or 2, right? Because it's counting the number of R's in the token. So by putting this up here and taking the spaces out of it, the LLM has to decide how to tokenize this. And maybe it tokenizes it like this: SAS, INI, DIDSPK, King, right? And an LLM doesn't know how to put these words together like a human does, right? We read it because we very cleverly left the capitals in, and we most of this post was actually getting this specific word right. You're telling Elena how to get this specific word, this specific
It was.
phrase.
I knew it was purposeful. I knew it was purposeful. I was like, that seems tricky.
It was, but here's the thing: because I've spent so much time around this technology, I understand. I intuitively understand their limitations. Okay, and because I understand their limitations, I can manipulate them. Okay.
Well, I wasn't even thinking down those lines. Sassy South Blonde. One long word with capitals. And so what I wanted to do was make a new nickname, one word with similar structure to poke fun at her.
Sure.
And
if it was,
but it actually
human,
accomplished the same purpose. Oh, yes, they would have. Oh, man. A woman attacking another woman for advocating that women need spanking, and you say she needs a spanking. Is it going to set her off? Holy shit.
It should.
Yes.
It should, but it didn't. Instead, so LLMs, when they encounter things they don't understand, one of the things you have to understand about LLMs is they will not say no. I don't know. Okay. Now, on these bot network systems, one of the things they have to detect somehow to flag the human operator. Okay, they have to flag the human operator, say, hey, look, I've lost the plot. But that requires an external detection mechanism. An AI cannot know when it has lost the plot, and this is due to something called a context window. So think of context window as short-term memory. Okay, we have a short-term memory of things that we've just talked about, right? So the context window of a bot is limited to a certain number of tokens. The largest, most expensive models right now use 2 million tokens. That is their context memory window. But remember, I said a token can, a word like propaganda can be 3 tokens. So just because it's 2 million tokens does not mean it's 2 million words back. And so this bot went, and this post is a bot. We have presented timing evidence that a bot got a notification, and in about 1 minute, 1 minute to 1 minute 15 seconds, generated this text, found this GIF. Okay. Humans cannot input this much text into a computer perfectly that quickly. As everyone knows, the faster you type, the worse your accuracy gets. Period.
So are you going to reveal the other thing that's missing from here?
Well, yes. Actually, I was just getting there.
Is this the point to reveal it?
Yeah.
What got Elena really upset?
Oh, yes. You want to talk about context? Yes. we were talking about this a lot yesterday, and so Steve's up on where I'm going. But before you do, I do want to say one thing. It doesn't mention this at all because the LLM didn't know what to do with it. So the LLM pulled something else, okay, from its context that it thinks is related, or sorry, that even doesn't have to be related, but might be related in the context time frame. Okay, so that's why it came up with this nickname, is why it came up with a different post that Elena did roughly around the same time we were talking about this regarding dowry. Okay, so we confused it. Okay, but a woman would have absolutely locked on to this nickname and spurred out about it. This didn't. Okay, Steve, I'll let you take over here. I need a drink of water.
Okay. So, Elena, what was the reason we got online on video last night and discussed this? She was really concerned because her reputation had been attacked. This sassy person had accused her of doing porn. And somehow had gone on and found some illicit or explicit video of a woman with similar face structure, and then gone and used AI to match Elena's face with this video and accused Elena of that type of activity. So that was how she attacked Elena.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it was working. Women get triggered about stuff. Go ahead.
Steve, this should be a warning to everyone out there, though, that the AI has gotten this sophisticated that they can attack you. So this is going to be a future attack on, already going to say, this is going to be a future attack on semi-well-known and well-known figures to try to destroy their reputation publicly so people stop listening to them. I'm calling it out right now.
Yeah.
Already shown their hand. They've shown their hand by being able to manipulate this. And this AI is because they're probably getting some funding somewhere. You know, USA went out about a year and a month ago or something like that.
Yeah. Well, before you go there, I want to stay in the female psychology.
Excuse me.
Sassy attacked Elena. Elena reacted to that attack. Sassy drew blood. She did. It hurt Elena. Okay, women are adept. Okay, I found the tender spot. I need to keep jabbing at this. Okay, that topic is not in this post. Elena just attacked her in a fun way. Sassy needs spanking. Sassy didn't react to that, and she didn't go back to accuse Elena of being a porn queen, which a normal woman would have done both. This is not acting like a woman. It's not a woman. It's a thing. Okay, and so this is where we get into the context window. The stupid AI lost the plot. It didn't know what the human interaction would be about and how a human would behave in this instance.
Correct. So one of the manipulations you can use against AI is to literally engage with the AI enough that you push the attack out of its context window. Okay. 2 million tokens, but it's not 2 million words. It's far less than 2 million words. And the other thing to remember is it's not 2 million words written. The context window is an intake process. Okay. So the AI had to have a context window for all of Elena's posts and replies. And you guys know that Elena loves words. Okay. So what we did was we waited a little bit. We didn't immediately go after this. We sat down, we talked it out, we thought about things because we're men and we slow down and we think when we're attacked. We pulled Elena off the back from the ledge of completely losing it. And we waited.
The OODA loop.
Yeah, exactly, Nick. The OODA loop. And then we waited 2 days. And then we went back and we actually poked the bear. We went back the other way because when a bully hits you, what do? Hit back harder.
Okay. I see Elena is in the background. So now I'm going to ask you this question, Plutarch. Okay, Elena was accused of doing porn.
Okay, accused.
Okay, she was accused of doing porn. Now, we know women's behavior being what it is. We're red pill guys. How do you know it's not true? How do you know that it's not true?
This is actually very, very simple. So I have Elena's express permission to say this so that you guys understand that I am not, I'm not saying anything out of turn. We both discussed this. The picture. So Sassy actually posted a picture of the alleged incident. She posted a visual picture of it. And Elena and I looked at that picture together. Okay, we did this as one is supposed to do. And I just started laughing, honestly, because I took one look at the picture and I said, that's not you. Now, as you guys know, we're married. I have full carnal knowledge of my wife. But the thing that set it apart, and this is something that you don't even need carnal knowledge for, is Elena and I have, she is, well, she's not very well endowed up top, right? She's just not. And since even before we were in the red pill, she will occasionally ask me about getting surgery. And I always say no, because I don't want to deal with the potential health problems of doing that. And frankly, I like her the way she is. But she has always been a little self-conscious. Sensitive, yes, self-conscious about how small things are. And I took one look at this picture and I said, lol, not her, because the size upstairs was about 2 cup sizes too big. Okay. So I don't know how this person arrived at the conclusion that it must be Elena. But Elena has no scars. So I'm just gonna, no reductions, no, enhancements, no nothing. She has no scars.
And remember the accusation that she was in a different country. Remember that.
Correct. There's an accusation made. Now, both Steve and Nick have met Elena and I in this country. And you can say, oh, well, you guys could have flown in from some foreign country.
No, I met your family too.
Oh, damn it, Nick. You weren't supposed to have the actual, the actual answer there. No, we are very, and here's the thing, lots of folks in the red pill have met us. Real people know us, right? Yes, I don't put my picture out on the internet, and this is actually why. You guys we are now dealing with exactly why I don't do this. Because somebody could. I was
thinking the same thing today about myself. It's like, dang, it's too late.
For you, well, that's just it, for too late, because there is actually, I'm not going to say that, but somebody could run a facial rec on me. Okay. And so, now, as we have seen, this Sassy account posted the account she used. It's very clearly not a good facial recognition algorithm because it just wildly screwed up. But remember, AI will not tell you no. And so if the AI learns that you are constantly using it to find pornographic material that looks like somebody else, it'll start to make things up. We call it a hallucination, but
yeah, and it's a big deal. It happens a lot.
There's been new research published in the past couple months that shows that AI hallucinations can be up to 50% of all responses can contain made up data or results. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that all of the response is made up, but it could be like you ask for a series of statistics. One of them could be made up, and it will be made up in such a way that supports
I like
your
using
thesis.
AI. I use Copilot. And I ask it a question, and it'll come back with an answer. And I'll say, I'll read through it. Nope. You got it wrong here. And I'll say, no, this is wrong. Because I know for a fact they got something wrong. And I'll say, you are wrong on this. And then it comes back and says, oh, you're awfully insightful to say that. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's the real answer.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
correct.
I always have to correct the AI answer I get, because if I'm asking it for more information about something I have some knowledge of. And oftentimes the basic knowledge that it spews to me is wrong. It's just flat out wrong.
Correct. And there is now academic research confirming this. These things are not human. And yes, I know humans are delusional and hallucinate too. The difference here is that AI is built down to its core training data to always confidently assert accuracy. That's just how they are. You can't program it out of you cannot program it out of. Grok does it.
Here's an aside. You hear in the news, oh, AI is coming out and it's taking human jobs. No, not really. Not yet. The corporations are using that as an excuse. But if corporations are actually counting on AI, it's going to introduce more problems and errors that are going to require humans to fix. And if you get rid of the humans, it's not good. And we've just proved something here. AI may be able to do facial recognition, but it certainly isn't able to do breast size recognition.
There might even be some real truth to that. Now, what I will say is that AI is, and this goes back to some very public fights, like Elon fighting with the EU over, pornographic imagery being generated by Grok. That AI is trained on that type of data. It is trained on it, so it can do it. But apparently it doesn't do it very well. Which is probably a good thing. So the key points are the reason that we say that this is a human-run account that is using agentic LLM limited systems. Now, these systems were primarily developed by governments, not just one. As I said, the Russians were doing it for the Ukraine war. The Iranians have been huge in this game. So have other Middle Eastern countries that shall remain nameless for the stream. Yeah. In fact, there was very recently there was a report that one of the I countries bombed another one of the I countries' data centers, and a large botnet on Twitter went offline the moment that the data center got bombed. It was offline for days while they rebuilt it. I won't say who did what, but a large number of accounts went silent that's a botnet. If they all go silent at the same time and you look, wow, okay, that data center disappeared. Oh, okay. So anyway, so the key points are look at the response time. 524, we tag. 526, we get a fully formed, accurate response with a GIF. And it took 15 seconds for this account to even be informed. And that's key because the bot cannot start writing a response until it's been notified that there is something to respond to. So that 15 seconds happens regardless of what's involved. So you can delete that from the amount of time it takes. So between 60 to 75 seconds was the entire time you had to look to do all of this. Almost 240 characters with a GIF, with perfect punctuation, grammar, capitalization. No human can do all of that in 60 seconds. Your fingers do not move that fast on any medium, not with that accuracy. Physics has a word to say about this, okay? And you certainly aren't getting the GIF that fast. That GIF loader, to open the GIF panel on Twitter takes 10 seconds. And that's before you start typing to search for your GIF or clicking through to your favorites links and scrolling through your favorites to get the GIF. The fastest I've ever gotten a GIF out of my favorites is 30 seconds. So realistically, you're telling me you typed all of this, perfect grammar and punctuation with no spelling mistakes in 30 seconds? Yeah, your fingers cannot physically move that fast. Sorry. So this is a human-run account with a limited agentic system behind it. And these systems were developed by governments for the purpose of running propaganda networks. Okay? So if we go back here, I'm going to pull this off and put this on. Propaganda networks make up all three of these types of accounts. They all serve a different purpose, right? The human managed LLM account, the primary account, like this one, think of this as the orchestra conductor, okay? This is the person who's telling all these other accounts what to do, okay? The repost and engagement accounts, this is your string section. They are there to, they harmonize. Okay. The sock puppet accounts, this is your drums. This is where they beat you. Okay. So one account, okay, but now I need other accounts to work around blocks and bands and stuff like that. All of these put together are specifically designed for one purpose, and that is to make you, men, in the manosphere specifically, and with this account specifically, and I'm going to show some examples here in a minute of other people that this account has gone after. This account is specifically anti-male dominance. Yeah, Andrew, I'm going to put this up there. I like this.
Okay, anti-male dominance, but anti-traditional family, anti-male headship.
Yes.
Okay, it's not. Okay, we're not talking about male dominance. That's a subset of the traditional hierarchy of the family, which is what has been sustained society through thousands of years. They are against that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, we're He-Man, dominant, we beat our woman, and then blah, 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 blah. No, fuck you.
Oh.
No, we are pro natural order guys. And okay, we are the men who are out here exposing this risk. Do you see women out here exposing this risk? No, because it's a man's job. This is a protector role for society, for the family, and we're in charge of our women, of society, of our children. This is our duty. This is our role. It's not about dominating or domineering over women. It's just like, no, I'm the head. I'm equipped to make these decisions and serve this protector role. That's what God made me for. They are against that. They're trying to remake the fabric of society. That's what it's against.
Correct. Andrew says the primary purpose of all social media is propaganda. A system's purpose is what it does. That is absolutely correct. Social media's primary purpose is propaganda. And this is the kind of thing that you were going, we specifically in the Red Pill, but even other spaces adjacent to us. In fact, I've got a post here from a guy who is not traditionally considered Red Pill that this same account went after. So here, let me swap this out. So this is Kangman Lee. As you can see, I follow him. He is a Christian patriarchalist. He is Korean. He lives in the United States. I believe he's a naturalized citizen. And he talks a lot about Christianity, patriarchy. He is ironically anti-immigrant himself, which I find hilarious. But I think you guys will find there's actually quite a few immigrants who are like, fuck that noise. So he writes this long post, a fairly well-written post. This is a guy who can think, okay? It's part of the reason I follow him. He is a thinker. Okay, he writes this long post, right? And this is all stuff that he's actually not a fan of the Red Pill, and this is why I wanted to bring him up specifically. But right at the end, he says, no wonder the Red Pill and manosphere exploding. Effeminate church leaders offer the same feminist script and have zero answers for disillusioned young men. You could have, this could be a quote from us, right? Okay. Well, now, he doesn't like some of the things about the Red Pill, and okay, gotcha. Okay. Oh, look. This is the same account. Dude left Asia to come over here and complain about Western women. He has been here like a week. He is nothing but a common grifter. If you wanted life to continue to be Asia, he could have stayed in Asia. Whoever's running this doesn't have to be a she, by the way. And I have to, because I don't know if this is a she or he. It obviously wrote this one because no LLM would write that mess. And then he says he tries to respond, and it keeps going and going. And here's where he says that he said are extremely toxic and he says, yeah, this is my point, right? So this is this is some stuff that's going on outside of the Red Pill, but what he did say was very pro family, very pro men, right? 70% of women who abort self-identify as Christian. True. 43% who are attending church at least monthly when they when they did the fetus deletus. Okay, all true. So he's talking about things that we talk about here, and then he gets hit with this. This is this account has been specifically set up for the purpose of attacking pro-male, pro-Christian,
pro-traditional family
value. Yeah, exactly. That is the purpose of this account. Okay. So, to all you Red Pillers, if you just want to preemptively block this account, fine by me. Okay. You'll kill its engagement doing it. Seems reasonable. But more to the point, what I'm trying to get at is we've talked before about NGOs and government ops against the United States, against the Red Pill. Sorry, my brain's going a lot of different places. We've talked a lot about this before, but one of the things that we said was, yeah, but these are kind of ham-fisted. Like, they're really easy to see what's going on. Well, to quote Terrence Popp, Skynet is learning. It is adapting. It is getting better. However, there's something I want people to understand. There is no way that the human running this account is paying for all the LLM resources it's using. Okay.
I hinted at that.
We are talking about thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars of AI usage per month to run this account. Because even if they write their own posts, that's not the expensive part of the AI. It's all the reading and it's all the monitoring of all the accounts that this account is trying to track and respond to. Okay.
Well,
and in fact,
okay.
it works to its benefit to not have the AI write so many posts, because then you can end up with what we had, with what we did, where we expose the fact that it actually is, that there actually is an LLM behind it.
Let me put my 2 cents in here. My prior career was as an engineer or project manager. So if I was to engage in something of this magnitude, okay, I got to develop this. Number one, I need a program or project director, project manager, whatever you want to call that person. Then I need a tech specialist to handle all the techie things and make it all work. And then I need a head implementation person to intervene when the flags come up from the LLM. And then that person needs well, I might need 2 of them if I'm running this, around the clock, or someone to step in to run it. And then you need someone to do the accounting for this, because the program director, project manager, is not going to keep track of all the expenses. So I think to set up a system like this, you need at least 5 people for a small interactive group doing this. Well, the all-in cost, not salary plus employment plus taxes, all that stuff, just the human side of these things, the all-in cost is going to be at least $100,000 a person, at least. So you got $500,000 a year there. Now you need hardware. Okay, that's going to cost you a few $1,000s. Then you have the expenses. Maybe you need an office, maybe you don't. Maybe they're work from home, but you got to pay for all the LLM services. So I'm thinking you can't run an operation like this for under $1 million a year.
It's probably something like that.
If I'm wrong, divide it in 2. It's still $500,000.
I say 50 to 100 grand, but if they cheaped out.
Yeah, but you still have multiple people involved here, Nick, and they're spending all day doing it. How are they going to live?
How are they making the money?
How do they pay their grocery bills and their housing bills? You have at least 2 or 3 people involved here, and we've demonstrated that they're posting so much. This is a full-time thing. It's a full-time gig for them. Where the hell are they getting their money? There's no way you can do it for $100,000 with the number of people involved to do this at scale, even a small scale.
This is actually really easy. The LLM costs alone are more than an account this size would make on engagement, because Twitter does engagement-based payouts, right? But a large account on Twitter for a month, an account of this size is going to make less than 10 grand in a month. Okay. Roughly. So no, they are not buying the LLM costs. Just that right there. Much less living. Remember, there is a person behind this who needs to eat. Okay. Twitter won't even cover the LLM token cost for what they're doing. And we haven't gotten to food, electricity, internet. The internet requirements for this are going to be significant. You will not be running this on your on a Starlink. That would be hilarious to watch. And you will not be running this on a cheapo cable account. No, you need business level internet for this, just to get the bandwidth up and down to do this. Sorry. Now this person can come back and say, "Oh no, none of this is true. Here's my, this is blah, 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 blah." Okay.
Well, they need a bot farm of at least 50, if not 100, cell phones monitoring this shit, and then flagging all the stuff they're monitoring up to a person managing it. And this is assuming that it's small enough for one person to handle.
A shoe. Could it be somebody with a AI generated lonely fans? Possibly. Most AI generated.
I would think that they would have their picture there instead of an AI generated picture. They'd get more followers.
Yeah, they would. And most of those accounts don't actually make that much money. The average OF account makes less than $200 a month, right? So we're not talking about a huge amount of money. If this person is doing this and running one of the major OF accounts, then I guess. But that's. I'm talking statistics here. I am talking about we know roughly what it costs to do this kind of account, okay? And so we're trying. And so we're sitting here trying to figure out, okay, where is all of that money coming from? And the answer we keep coming back to is NGOs. And
because, do women with a lot of money want to spend their money on changing the world, or do they want to spend their money on beauty treatments and vacations and having a good life? And do they care about changing the world if they have a lot of money?
No. Women do no, that is not a woman thing. So I would be shocked if it was actually a woman running this account. It could be, but it could be. But that woman is getting paid.
It's not a good woman funding the account. That's my point.
Correct. A woman could be. There's lots of angry feminists out there who would be quite willing to take money to do this, but they would not be doing this out of their own money. No, that is not a thing that they would do. So this account, they're attacking others. There's a different account that they've been attacking. This is the Transformed Wife. Elena's gone back and forth with her. If you go look at, and I don't recommend you do, if you go look at the Sassy page, you'll see these two going back and forth. And I would not call Transformed Wife a red pill account, but no. Transformed Wife is a pro-patriarchy account. She's made that part pretty clear. And so that's why Elena and then Transformed Wife go back and forth. Sometimes.
They operate in parallel. They don't necessarily agree with each other. That's
on
fine.
Everything. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. I mean, they agree in certain areas. On other areas, they are quite opposed. But Sassy attacked both of them.
Mm-hmm. And so this account is very. But here's the thing. At the same time, the Sassy account never talks about feminism. Never. I looked. There's not a word of pro-feminism in there. Okay. And in fact, it will occasionally signal that it's kind of anti-feminist. Which is exactly what I would expect a feminist running an anti-male dominance account to do. Okay. So and you have to go look through. You can go look through the account. There's some pretty obviously a woman wrote this posts in there. talking about like hating going to malls and stuff like that. Woman shit. The last thing I want to show you, this is kind of tongue in cheek, but I want you guys to see this so that you understand what it actually looks like in practice. Okay. This is a bit of a metaphor here. I mean, this actually happens, but there's no sound, so don't worry. This is a bot farm in action. 3 Chinese dudes running 5 racks of, it looks like 50 phones each. So 250 phones. The guy in the middle, I'll let this. Oh, okay. So you see this guy? He's got boxes up on his screen. You saw the box flip, right? That's the flag. Hey, something I've got to deal with. Okay. And he's got to push a button and tell it what to do. Okay. This guy, that's code. That's a code window. If I had to guess, I'd say it's an IDE called Writer from a company called JetBrains. On the basis of this video and having looked at that before. Okay, so this guy's a programmer, and he's scrolling through code here. Now, this looks to me like a list of something network related. And you see these red cables here. These are all, and there's a rack of hardware back here. So this is probably their network ops guy. Okay. So I have an operator, programmer, operations. Yeah, I'll take this down.
What? They just operate like 8 to 10 hours a day, and then the guys just turn off lights and go home, right?
This is a paid job, yeah.
Or do they get a second shift in?
Oh, there's other shifts. Not all of these guys will be there all the time. This looks like the date, the business hours portion of the operation. Like the programmer probably won't be there at night. Now, I'm not saying that this is what the Sassy account is doing, but when we start talking about bot farms, Twitter actually has really good detection instruments for when you like. Twitter knows if you're hitting a programming endpoint versus actually using the app, right? And so they can ban you if you do bot-like activities with the programming interface. So the reason they have all these phones is because those red cables are all plugged in, and they use hacked drivers to make the operating system think that there is an actual human touching the screen. So the way it works is there's a piece of hardware that does an electrical current. Your phone touches it and completes the current, and the hardware says there's a current at coordinate XY, and it sends that through hardware up through software. Well, they've hacked the driver, which translates between the hardware and the software. And so they inject a false reading, but it looks correct to the operating system and therefore looks correct to Twitter. So it looks like a real human is running this account. That's why they have banks of phones up there running. And it's why the phones seem to be doing things with no human touching them. The red cable is the hardware telltale of a hacked phone. So I just so you guys know how that works. It's very difficult to prove that a bot account is actually a bot account. And so my recommendation there is if you start to see strange behaviors, okay, as we were talking about, responding within seconds with a fully formed post is not human behavior. We just can't do it. Okay. You see that, you're probably, and even if that account looks like it's a human account because there are clearly human actions being taken, this account is also very clearly running agentic LLMs behind the scenes because it posts way too much to be a human. So that is speaking bigger picture now, kind of zooming out now. Rollo has talked about him being on his name being on an NGO list. We know that the NGOs are coming after anything pro-male. We know. Rollo has, I think he even got the evidence. I think he posted, this was years ago, but he posted the screenshot of him and some other content creators on the list, right? But they're getting better at it. Yes, they don't necessarily have U.S. government funding anymore. Thank you, Trump, for that, by the way. I might have my issues with Trump. This ain't one of them. But just because they're not getting federal government funding anymore does not mean that they're not well funded. Data Republican, I've told you guys to follow her. She has done a fantastic job tearing down the funding networks for these things. The NGOs are still very well funded. But if you can use the understanding that I've given you guys today on techniques to manipulate LLMs, understanding things like context windows, we were able to push the attack that the account made out of the context window simply by accusing it of being a bot and getting it to spurg out about something else, right? Okay, now, according to my wife, the account has gone back to attacking her for being
before we go there, did she capture the last image from Sassy?
The last image, I don't remember. I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh, okay. At the end, remember that message when Sassy just disengaged?
Oh, yeah, I have that here. Says, I can put that up.
Yeah, bring that up first.
Okay. There you go. So this is something else we did. This is another post we had Elena write. And so so Sassy says, sorry, I have other people to respond to other than you. A human wrote this, by the way. You became boring? Boring, huh? We became boring? We did?
No, it was a cat fight between two women, and it was just getting good.
Well, and that's why we had Elena write this response. Aw, come back. I was having so much fun. All right, because Elena was starting to feel, like she'd gotten the upper hand, right? It's like she was starting to have fun with it because we were dragging this account all like think about this in terms of frame, to use a red pill term. And from the initial attack, the attacker had frame, and Elena reacted within that frame. But by the end of this, we're sitting here asking this account to come back because we want to do it again. We're having so much fun.
I described this. I told her before our conversation, Elena, you need to flip the script. That is a red pill. That's pickup artist language. Like a woman puts the man on the defensive. So that puts her in a superior position to the man. He's on the defensive.
Green.
No, really. I'm a good guy. No, I'm fine. I'm defending myself against the accusations. It never works. He needs to flip the script. Boom. Start being dominant and making her be defensive. And so now he's in control of things. This is frame. When you're down, you are reacting to this other person. And if you can get to the point where the other person is reacting to you, you have the frame. So you're flipping the dominant role with the submissive role. That's flipping the script. That is what we mean by frame.
Mm-hmm. There's another piece of woman intelligence in here, of woman observation and intelligence gathering. sorry, I have other people to respond to other than you. So we're getting a little flustered and we're repeating ourselves. You became boring? Boring, huh? Now, I think I've talked about this before. I grew up with narcissists in my family. And so this "you became boring" is something that immediately I tripped over because I heard it growing up. When a narcissist starts losing, and you could really think of it as losing frame, they disengage. And they disengage by saying, "Oh, well, you're just not interested. You just don't interest me anymore, right? You're not fun anymore. This isn't fun anymore." Well, yeah, okay, fine. For a narcissist, getting the snot beat out of you, intellectually or otherwise, isn't really very fun. And so, but you can't admit that the person won, okay? Because you're a narcissist. You can't admit that the person beat you. So you have to say something else. I've heard boring. You know, I've heard I've heard I've heard you just my personal favorite was "you just don't understand what I'm trying to say. You don't get it." All of these are an attempt to put you back in the submissive role. They're trying to they're trying to put frame back on you. Okay. And so that's why we responded the way we did. Oh, come back. I want to do this some more, right? Because
but Sassy didn't. Now you can talk about what happened with Elena today.
Apparently this is yeah, apparently she's so it looked like the account reset. So remember the bot comes back and it says, "Oh, I'm having a problem." Right. And so we need to go back to the idea of context window here, right? So when an AI fills up its context window, the old context starts falling off the back. It literally forgets, okay? So the technique is to fill up its context window with other stuff, right? Okay. What I can do then as a user of an AI system is I can say, okay, delete that context window, start fresh with this prompt. And it'll go right back to what it was doing before. Okay. It's only when stuff falls out of the context window that we run into problems. And so this is called the term used by the LLM creators is reinforcement learning. They literally go back and re-prompt the AI to start over again and start over again. When I use these tools for work, I can only get so far before I have to just go delete on that context window, delete the context window, and here start over, and then start over. This is something I've been dealing with for the past 2 weeks.
Let me describe this in a different way. Sassy disengaged, but Sassy has flying monkeys around her.
Yes.
Flying monkeys. Okay, that term is it relates to BPD or NPD people in divorce. You divorce from a crazy woman. She has all her female friends who will attack you. We call the term the slang term for that is flying monkeys. Nick knows all about flying monkeys. So here's what happened. Sassy got beat yesterday. So today, what's happening? The flying monkeys are coming in and attacking Elena. What do you think about flying monkeys, Nick?
Are you referring to them being as beta orbiters or just their kind of community that bandwagon?
Just how it happens.
Well, you have sisterhood.
I am saying
you have the team woman, right? You have the sisterhood uber allies, as Rollo says. Steve used the term team woman back in the day. It's just let's pile on it. Let's protect attack men, protect sisterhood, except now it's this woman and like, oh, she went against the sisterhood. Oh no. But you also have it's assuming these are humans, right? And then you have the beta orbiters, which they're you're kind of your simps basically, your white knights and simps coming in to protect the female egalitarianism and women's rights. And no, a man can't be dominant. If he's dominant, he's automatically going to be labeled as some crazy crap. How do I
Here's the
know?
point.
How do I know, guys? You can look at my Twitter feed. I post some text from back in 2022 before shit hit the fan.
Here's the point. These dynamics happen in real life, whether you're red pill or not. If you're a man dealing with a woman who is opposed to you and then she gets all her friends to gang up on you, hey, this is real life. This is how humans interact. Well, these same tactics are perfected and enhanced and used against you in the propaganda, the shaping of the narrative. Because you know why they're used? Because they're effective. They work. So Elena defeated the head yesterday, the woman, basically. And now, okay, we got to get even. And the flying monkeys come in to attack her. Now there's a greater agenda here. Somebody is paying good money to attack traditional life, male headship, attack the family. There is an agenda here. It's a propaganda agenda to change the way we work. And so they can't let Elena go out there saying the things she says. They're attacking that. Why? Because they don't want this movement to grow. Okay, she's a small channel, doesn't have that many people paying attention to her. Even her YouTube presence is pretty damn small. Our YouTube presence is very small. But you know what? Anybody talking about this kind of stuff, they want to nip it in the bud. They want to eliminate us. They want to eliminate the manosphere, the red pill world, the traditional Christianity, the people like women trying to guide other women in traditional ways. They want it all gone. There's a concerted effort. This is by design.
So there's one. There's one last thing that I want to share with you guys, and it is I'm going to try just trying to put a larger context on what we've been talking about. Okay. So I asked Grok this. And I know LLMs lie. I know. We will I will state that up front. Based on public data, what is the estimated percentage of non-human accounts on X? And what it says is X's own disclosures and related reports. There is no single verifiable platform-wide percentage. That I expected, by the way. Estimates vary significantly depending on the source, methodology, and definitions. Yeah, okay, got it. And how the specific measurement is done. Yeah, okay. Credible public sources generally converge on a range of 5 to 20%, with higher concentrations in high engagement topics like politics or news events. Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that us and the red pill are high engagement topics, closely aligned with politics. So I would use the higher range for the number of bots in our space. So that would mean somewhere between 10 to 40% of all the accounts that are interacting with you are not humans. Or depending on how you measure it, contain some non-human elements, such as the account we've torn apart today, right? It is very clear that there's a non-human element to that account. The timings alone are a dead giveaway. Now, is there a human behind that account? Yes, there is. So how do you define a bot account? Personally, I think the definition should be any account that uses AI for content generation, engagement, etc. LLMs. Because what they're doing when they mix the two is they're lying to you. They are giving you the appearance of a real human, that it feels like you're talking to a real human, because in many cases you are. Okay. But then all of a sudden you're not talking to a human. And it's very difficult for humans who are not paying attention to these little details, like response times and grammar and all of that. LLMs do not make grammar mistakes unless you tell them to. Okay. Computers are deterministic machines at the end of the day. They don't make that mistake. So unless you're paying attention to all of this, you wouldn't really notice, because they have mixed the human interaction with the non-human interaction. It's a very, very clever strategy to get around, because when you interact with a bot that's just a bot, you as a human have a feel for how other humans respond and interact to what you say, right? And bots don't feel like that. And so you can figure out very quickly. So the answer is, well, you give a human access to bots. The bots go off and do a bunch of work for the human, but you still have that human presence. It still feels like it's human. So that's why I would say that any account that uses LLMs in the normal course of its activities is a bot account, because they are trying to cheat you. Okay. They're trying to be more than a human, but while still making you think that they're human. And why is that important? Because humans have actually gotten pretty good at ignoring propaganda bot accounts. Particularly those of us who are online a lot, we tend to recognize the patterns. And so now they need to get more sophisticated. As Terrence Popp said, Skynet is learning. And this is one of the things they learned. They have to get more sophisticated in how they set these networks up. Steve, you have something, or Steve or Nick, you have something to say?
I do. The impact on me. I almost made a mistake here. In fact, I did make the mistake and I've corrected it. So when this whole controversy, remember the base controversy, why Elena got attacked was she basically said women need to be spanked. It's kind of a funny statement. Oh, and then she got all this pushback. And I was originally, I was thinking it was real. If you remember, about a year ago, maybe a bit more, there was a growing theme: women shouldn't vote. And all kinds of women were railing against that and responding to that. Well, okay, this is similar, but it seemed to be more intense. Women need to be spanked. And then, the women come out and against that. Was it real? No, it wasn't. It wasn't real at all. That comment didn't get much pushback at all from women. I thought I was originally thinking, women are rebelling against that. They really hate that idea. No, they actually don't. And then, here's some ancillary proof of that. There was that popular movie, 50 Shades of Grey, and the book. Millions of women read that book. There were a few women protesting against it, but almost no women were protesting against the male dominance in that book. And they went to the movie. And you know what? Nobody ever has put out a movie, 50 Shades of Simp.
Steve, it's even better. The same church ladies that were railing against it were secretly reading.
Were what?
Secretly reading. The same ones that were against it were railing against it publicly probably were secretly reading it. But they gotta appear pure.
So was there any genuine pushback against Elena's assertion that women need to be spanked? Not really, and it's actually kind of a funny statement.
And we're not saying women
and then some of these bot accounts, they conflate it. Oh, she's advocating beating women and abusing women.
No.
Oh, come on. They have to exaggerate it. Normal women were just silent.
A lot of women just like a slap on the ass. Look, a lot of women really enjoy a slap on the ass.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so this whole thing is just completely manufactured.
And Steve, that's the point. And this is where I think this is more evidence that we're dealing with a propaganda network. This is an influence network. They are trying to make it seem like there are legions of women who are against male dominance in general, looking at what they're attacking. And why are they trying to do that? Well, male dominance narratives have become pretty popular on Twitter and elsewhere. And you're starting to see women come out and say, oh, yeah, no, we think that's a good idea, too. Pearl, Rachel Wilson, you guys know the list of women who are coming out and saying things like that. And so now the NGOs are shitting their pants because they're realizing that this is getting big, and even women are starting to go, yeah, there's something to what those guys are saying over there. And so now they need to build up this idea that really, no, this is just a small number of women, and see all these other women out here who hate this and are shrieking about it. This is the same tactic that communists have used to win propaganda fights since there's been communism, except now it's been given tools like LLMs and computers and the internet to make this all appear as if it's occurring organically in real time. The only pushback against Elena's statement, it didn't come from any of the ladies that orbit around the red pill. Okay? I very much doubt that somebody like Rachel Wilson has a problem with what Elena said. Okay? Where did it come from? It came from a unified network of accounts that were associated with this one head account. Okay? Now, are there real people who will be following this account? Yeah, she's got 50,000 followers, or no, 18.8, sorry, 50,000 posts. She's got 18,000 followers. Okay? There will be real humans involved in that. Okay? Now, and these humans have been radicalized and by the rhetoric that this account puts out, and they get dragged along with because remember, women follow the group, they follow safety. So the purpose of this account and other accounts like it is to make it appear as if there's a large group of women out there actively speaking out against what Elena was talking about. And then other women go, oh yeah, I've got to follow the group. I got to follow that's where the safety is, right? I am safe as a woman speaking out against this because I have all these other women around me. And the bot networks know who the real ones are, because you take the accounts that are in your network and you subtract those out of the list of people in your follow list. And those botnets will boost engagement of those accounts too. And so that person, now they start to feel like, oh yeah, people love me. Look at all this, look at all these likes and whatnot, right? And that's how they do this. So we have to stand up to this, and we have to be willing to do some research like we did yesterday. It took a few hours to do it, to tear apart what was actually happening and go, aha, you are this. So the red pill, we kind of got a bit of a moratorium on these NGO attacks. They kind of went away middle of 2024 as the election season picked up. Probably they needed to direct their money to politicking, and then it was gone for about a year after Trump destroyed U.S. aid. But here's what I'm going to submit. Yeah, here's what I'm going to submit to you in the red pill. They never intended to leave us alone, but what Trump did to them damaged them significantly enough that they had to spend some time to reorganize, rearm, and retool their processes, because they did lose. They lost 2024, and they had to wake up and go, wow, how did we lose that? What, are there new tools, or is there something we could do better? And they did, and they learned. That's why I love Terrence Pop's title from yesterday. They learned.
It's interesting. This is a war. That was a battle.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back for another battle. As much as the red pill wants to say there's no ideology, yet they're still identified. So it's patriarchy. Your ideology, you still have a set of beliefs and a moral. I'll use it lightly. It's still there. A moral sense that you're trying to impact men. There's a morality behind it. Not all of it's good. I think some of it's good. I don't quite agree with the PUA's end goal and purpose for men, but there's good information there, and they're not all the red pill community. But they're latching on. This is an information and propaganda war.
Nick, is this similar to the people inside the Christian churches pushing for egalitarianism? Isn't that anti-male dominance as well? Anti-traditional family? Isn't this the same thing?
And it's linked to Marxism. I mean, you don't think the same groups that funded all these I'll call them extremist Marxist organizations back in 2020, 2022, and continued on and got defunded, aren't linked into the sort of the same belief systems that have infected and corrupted the church under egalitarianism. It's part of the same stuff.
Well, yeah, okay. Go into that. Are the people pushing egalitarianism in the church, are they organized and funded?
Absolutely. You see this in even some of the most conservative denominations, always pushing to the left, always battling and trying to get the right to fight amongst themselves to keep them disorganized, while they have all these foundations and groups and all these popular names that are propped up and have all the right credentials. They're never really attacked.
But there's an outside group pushing egalitarianism, infiltrating the church that is found, but they're funded, right?
Yeah.
And they're coercing church leadership into adopting this. And it's not a movement of the people. It's a movement from the outside of influence. It's the same shit.
There's another point I want to make here, and this is directed at the red pill. You've probably heard this statement before. You might not be concerned about politics, but politics is concerned about you. Okay. Oftentimes that's, the left talking about, or the right talking about the left, right? You as a person on the right might not be terribly concerned with politics, but the people on the left are very concerned with it. And they are concerned with you. Okay. The same thing kind of applies to the red pill here. Okay. You say you don't have an ideology, but guess what? The people attacking you very much do. They have a very specific, very anti-male ideology. You are not going to defeat them by saying, oh yeah, well, we just don't have one. Here's how they're actually going to interpret it. the ideological attackers are going to interpret it as, aha, so you mean that there is space for us to install our ideology in every single one of you. Why? Because every human has an ideology. To exist is to have an ideology. You cannot form a thought without having an underlying set of ideological heuristics by which that thought is formed. Okay? So this idea that you're going to get around this by claiming, oh, well, we just don't have one. Bullshit. They're looking at that saying, aha, that means we can take you over even easier. Okay. And yes, there are Christian accounts out there who were participated in this attack. And I want you guys to think about that as Christians. Okay. As Christians, they rallied around it and defended and brigaded for an account that was making accusations, salacious accusations of porn production. This is a Christian area. There's lots of Christians accounts in this network that say they are. And somehow they decided that the thing to do, the most Christian thing to do, was to, without verifying the evidence, pile in and call a woman a porn star, a woman who identifies with Christianity, who practices Christian faith and believes in it. That's what they thought that they should do.
A truly faithful wife.
Yeah, yes, exactly. A truly faith who is doing exactly what the Bible says. And these quote unquote Christian accounts have to pile on and decide without even doing the most basic of fact checking that this is a porn account. That this person.
You know, they do the same thing with us. We are red pill.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We'll absolutely claim that. But so many of these Christian guys, oh, we're anti-red pill because they're just out advocating men to just sleep with women and do immoral things. No, bullshit. You have the wrong definition of red pill. Oh, are there some in the red pill doing that? Yeah, fine. I don't control them. The red pill is about the truth of human nature, the nature of men, the nature of women, the natural order. You can absolutely be a red pill guy, be Christian, and be moral. Absolutely.
Hey, Steve. Part of the we've been talking about this tactic in the context of the church and in the context of women. However, the betatization of men is a necessary prerequisite. And the reason is this. Men also, particularly beta men, will chase the safety in numbers sort of view of the internet. Oh, well, this is the big group. I got to go with them. Right? Do you guys remember, this is probably 8 months ago now, when Elon turned on the location data and a whole bunch of based Christian accounts got found out to be from Nigeria, Ghana, and India? Like tens of thousands of accounts were, okay, most of your Christian accounts that preach up and down how Christian they are not Christians. They need you to believe the little blurb on the top of the profile that says, I'm a Christian. So that when real Christian, real human Christians see the tens of thousands of people going, oh yeah, egalitarianism, that is the future of Christianity. That is the true Christianity. Okay. They need it to look like those numbers exist, so that the beta men will go along with it and say, yeah, look at all these men out here. This must be what the men want. So I am done. I am out of information. I have walked you through what we did. Steve and I did. I hope this helps you guys. The NGO attacks on the pro-male spaces are going to become far more sophisticated, and therefore they're going to be harder to detect. This one took a while. We had to sit down and think and analyze and poke and prod and analyze more and do more OODA loops. This is not as easy as the ones we did 2 years ago.
No. So, hey, what's Elena's stream on Saturday? Is she going to double down?
Yes, which means I have to be there.
Elena, we know you're in the background. What are you going to talk about?
She's typing right now. It'll be in the chat box in a sec. Give her a second. Hey, come on. See, humans don't type. Humans don't type that fast. See. It's blocking her. I just saw the thing flip. So the conversation. This account has not dissuaded her from talking about this topic of spankings. I know, Steve. I know, Nick. You don't want to be there for that one. Honestly, guys, most quote unquote spankings are, as Nick said earlier in the stream, ass slaps.
It's actually just funny and mild. It's a funny topic. It's going to be something about women need spanking, and it's actually hilarious when you think about it.
Yes. So she tried to write the comments, and they're not showing up. So she's getting censored.
She texted something, I think.
Yeah, she texted a picture of her trying to write the comments in the thing, and then not showing up. So anyways, so yes, that'll be Saturday, which means I have to wake up. Yay, I'm tired. It's been an annoying week. As I said, I wasn't prepared to do this. This all just kind of happened last night. So I'm a little burnt out. I've done 2 in a row now. So yes, that'll be Saturday. And then Steve, what are we doing on next Wednesday?
Well, the topic it'll be the same topic. Her mask hides abortion, infidelity, promiscuity, guilt. And that one post from a Korean guy that you brought up on this stream.
You want me to save that post for you?
I want to bring that up because he said there's a lot of abortions in Christian women. And I want to talk about what that means in real life, what the repercussions of that are. This is a red pill topic that has been overlooked.
All right. So that's next week. If you guys like what you heard, drop a like. But really, we want this video to be shared. There's lots of men in the red pill who need to see this, who need to understand that they are coming after you again, and they are coming at you with far more sophisticated tools. I think Terrence Pop's already figured this out as well. You can go watch his stream. But the goal tonight was to provide specific things you can do, specific things you can look for as you guys start to engage with this. They will not be as ham-fisted as they were 2 years ago. They're going to come at you. It's going to be a multi-vector assault, and it's going to be on multiples of us all at the same time. It's not going to be, oh, I'll try this person. Oh, no, that didn't work. Oh, I'll try. No, they have really cool tools now that allow them to go after many targets at the same time. So be on the lookout. I suspect that as we progress towards the election, you will actually see more of this. There is very much a larger program of trying to suppress male interest in voting in general going on right now. Now, to be perfectly blunt, Trump is not helping himself on that regard at all. And we've talked about that before. So, this is, as I said, Trump, win some, you lose some with that guy. But this video is a nuts and bolts look at how somebody who has deep experience with LLMs analyzed and ultimately came to the conclusion that I was interacting with one. Yes, I have deep experience with them, and it still took me a while to figure it out. These things have gotten good. But if you pay attention to the details, and here's the thing, as a result of me talking about this, their strategies will change again. Okay? They will start doing things like prompting, you have to include a delay, right? You have to include a delay. They're going to change again. This is attack and counterattack, move and counter move. Okay? And so I am giving this out to you guys as a counter move.
This stream might be one of the more insightful streams on this topic that exist at this point.
I certainly hope people find it useful. And that's why I say, more than anything else you can do with this video, share it. If you have questions about specifics of what we discussed tonight, leave them in the comments. I will try to get back to you. I do have a day job, so it could take a while. I have a day job that involves using LLMs, so fun there. And if you want to hear more stuff like this, we don't always do these technical deep dives. This was something that came up, and we had an opportunity to take notes and really log what we were doing. We do a lot of different topics. Last week was geopolitics. Few weeks before that was a bunch of red pill stuff. And Nick's been running a series on William Gouge. And William Gouge is probably up in a couple of weeks, isn't he, Nick?
Probably. I got a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. See, so we do a lot of stuff, but all of it is focused on improving the lives of men. And this is a way for other accounts out there to start to help them keep pace with the attacks that we're under, because we are under attack right now. You guys have any final words?
No.
Nope. All right. Well, if you join us on Saturday, you can watch Nick despair and listen to me groan my way through it. And next week we're going to talk about the mask revealed, revealing what's behind the mask. And so we will see you all then. Later.
Yep.
There was a firefight! Son of a bitch!